The following are art professionals, award-winning musicians, top athletes, heads of state, best-selling authors, business leaders, and others who have all been deeply inspired by Spar's work. The vast majority of them are also clients. The Heart of Peace is so beautiful, so awe-inspiring. It speaks 1,000 heartwarming words. Master artist Spar Street, in his captivating The Heart of Peace sculpture, has tapped into a depth of art which holds the hope of transforming humanity and the world. His The Heart of Peace sculpture is worthy of inspiring people of all races, ethnicities, cultures, and religions worldwide. The Heart of Peace exudes sublime eternal values. Its shape portrays divine love. Its gold color represents truth, purity, and value. Its open see-through space suggests a new world based on the virtuous ideals and divine principles of compassion, altruism, earth ethics, and universal peace. Spontaneously, it generates the finest thoughts and emotions ever found in the human heart. It literally exudes love and hope. I can well see how, in a most miraculous manner, the Heart of Peace will communicate heart to heart with the peoples of the world, with Mother Earth, and with God. It holds the hope of becoming the global catalyst for harmony and peace on Earth. It paves the way for cultivating the ideal of reverence for life. I envision large, the Heart of Peace sculptures beautifying airports, harbors, Capitol buildings, and parks throughout the world, as if to say, welcome, goodbye, and good Earth to all of the travelers, visitors, and residents who view those monuments. I envision these sculptures acting as constant reminders, encouraging people to look to their hearts more and more in their everyday lives. In the same manner as the towering Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor greets seekers of freedom by saying, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free," I envision the Heart of Peace sculpture will likewise become the great gateway by which the human race will enter into the golden age of universal peace, built on a culture of deep connection with self and truth. I envision that in time, the Heart of Peace shall be viewed and admired much in the same way that we today view the Eiffel Tower, the Taj Mahal, the Great Wall of China, and the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Klaus Nobel, World Peace One co-founder and chairman. U.S.-based artist Spar Street's striking sculptural work focuses on how living and working environments can be transformed into vibrant, meaningful spaces. Spaces full of the power to ignite passion and help us lead lives centered on the vision we hold for our common future. For many years, he has primarily worked in stainless steel and bronze to create vibrant, smooth, anthropomorphic sculptures reminiscent of the works of Constantine Brancusi, Donald Judd, and Carl Andre, to symbolize humanity's quest for meaning, self-discovery, and connection. Exalted Giving, a 6-foot sculpture, portrays the quest for human interactivity and enlightenment through the use of curvilinear open spheres that are interconnected at the base, perhaps used as a metaphor for birth or coming from the earth, thus yielding, in a sense, individual personas, which through meaningful constructive interactivity culminates in a crystallization of being, represented by the curved oval shape at the top. The Eternal Flame, standing 6.5 feet tall, employs a more solid yet transparent rendition of a flame that appears to be burning brightly. The notion of volume and energy is expertly portrayed through manipulating the curvaceous nature of a flame via swirling movement that again culminates at the top. Deep illuminated patina is used to communicate the warming or hot attributes of the flame or the life force from within. Both pieces demonstrate the mastery Street possesses to use sculpture as a metaphor for the ongoing quest for human meaning and existence. Interconnectedness is demonstrated through balancing shape, size, color, and texture that exudes a sense of lightness in the work that makes it approachable yet thought-provoking. Through close examination of the figurative or abstracted form in these works, the audience is allowed to explore their inner being. Street gives the viewer the freedom to develop their own narrative, with the hope of achieving self-actualization through observation and reflection. Herman J. Milligan, Jr., Ph.D. advisor to the Corcoran Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., contributor to Forecast Public Art magazine, on the Development Board for Public Art Review, on the boards of directors, advisory boards for Art Space Projects Incorporated, IFP Center for Media Arts, Juxtaposition Arts, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Interact Center for the Visual and Performing Arts, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Sioux Visual Arts Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Wow! There is so much passion and movement in your work. The colors are light and extraordinary. It is at the same time powerful and gentle. I feel free just looking at it. The Right Honorable Kim Campbell, 19th Prime Minister of Canada. Brilliant, stunning, altogether splendid. The movement and excitement of your artworks are irresistibly compelling. Your entire home is a feast for the senses. Every wall is vibrating with fantastic energy, power, and life. I love it. Sir Richard Branson, Chairman, Virgin Atlantic Airlines. This is to thank you so much for your wonderful artwork. Lift of Freedom is truly a magnificent painting. It captures the very spirit of freedom. Just looking at it gives me a wonderful sense of release and hope. I have a photograph of it with me when I travel, 320 days last year. And it attracts a tremendous amount of attention from the many people who visit our offices. Again, I cannot thank you enough for Lift of Freedom in all its glory. It is one of my most valued possessions. With love, Jane. Jane Goodall, environmentalist, activist, and UN Peace Ambassador. If I don't like a painting, I won't put it in my house. I love your painting. I really love it. That painting will go in my atrium. Ted Turner, billionaire philanthropist. To stand before a painting Spar Street has created just for you is to be in one of the few places on earth where your spirit runs completely free. You become enveloped in extraordinary experience, and there isn't much you can do other than be awestruck and filled with gratitude. John Assaraf, co-star of the movie The Secret and best-selling author of The Street Kid's Guide to Having It All. Wow, these are so beautiful, so incredibly beautiful. Dr. Deepak Chopra, author, public speaker, and physician. Gorgeous. Your work pulses with life. It takes me into the realm of the spirit. Dr. Wayne Dyer, author and motivational speaker. You can never prepare yourself for what you see in Spar's paintings. There is something indescribably attractive and pure about them. They offer a clear portal into the infinite. Looking closely into them is reverie, as if the full force of all that is beautiful is looking back at me. They hold the nectar of the divine and come from a deep, soul-satisfying source. Adyashanti, author and spiritual teacher. This painting is a mind-blowing journey into the infinite. It is the pure expression of freedom itself. What a gift! A gift to the world. Ram Dass, author and spiritual teacher. Presence is the quality that brings power, joy, and inner radiance into your experience. An artwork created from presence lifts you out of the mind's obsession with me and my problems into the center of awareness, which is power and radiance. Presence is what people recognize within themselves when they look at famous paintings or sculpture. The artist was in a transcendent state while creating the artwork, and everyone feels that transcendence when they look at the art. Your works come from this place. They take us into the stillness, which is power, which is love. Eckhart Tolle, #1 best-selling author of The Power of Now. Breathtaking, nothing shy of stunning. That is how I describe the experience of seeing his original paintings and sculptures up close. It is no wonder why Spar Street's work has become an icon for the extraordinary in the minds of the world's most successful and discerning individuals. His soul-stirring creations are the pinnacle of fine art excellence. His artworks take you where your heart longs to be, to places you have never been, yet seem curiously familiar. They reveal to you a life of intimacy and grace, passion and power, and every time you look at them, they give you more. Thoroughly captivating, entirely unforgettable. Spar Street's artwork makes my spirit soar. There is extraordinary power here. Mark Victor Hansen, co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Collecting fine art is one of my greatest passions. I have artworks by Picasso, Miro, Dali, and Rembrandt, but the painting Spar Street created for me is my greatest treasure. The personal connection I have with the piece inspires me every day. It embodies the essence of everything I live for. The igniting of the infinite potential that abides in the heart of every individual. Tom Hopkins, iconic sales legend. Of all the artworks I own, and of all the gifted artists I have worked with, one stands out for the sheer impact, dramatic majesty, and haunting captivation of his inspired work. I am talking about the works of artistic genius Spar Street. His talent and vision redefine what art is and does for the beholder. Spar's work inspires, captivates, motivates, excites, and animates the human spirit. His creations lift the senses, liberate your rapture, and energize our hearts. Of all the works in my home, I get more compliments, favorable commentary, and lingering looks of admiration for the Spar Street paintings hanging in my home than all the other artists' works I own combined. I cannot compliment and acknowledge Spar enough for his amazing gifts and ability to totally transform a piece of blank canvas into something to be prized and treasured for a lifetime. If you put one or more of Spar's pieces in your office, home, or business, you'll never want to take it down. Your family, staff, and customers won't let you. It impacts everyone that much. It seems that once you are exposed to Spar Street's work, it haunts you favorably for the rest of your life. Jay Abraham, author, speaker, business owner, fine art collector, owner of 8 original Spar Street artworks. Spar's artworks are among the most powerful, beautiful, and enjoyable ever created. There is a connection that occurs between you and Spar's paintings. A connection that fills the space with so much love, passion, and vitality that it is palpable. You find yourself in a moment of time expanded, senses heightened, and everything feels like it is occurring in slow motion. You feel the undiluted beauty of life and love in its purest form seems to flood your entire being. My wife often finds herself standing in front of the magnificent painting Spar created for our entrance, and sooner or later notices she is swaying back and forth, embraced in wave after wave of good feeling. Jack Canfield, co-author of the #1 best-selling Chicken Soup for the Soul series. When people walk in our front door for the first time and they are embraced by the exquisite uplifting splendor of his work, the response is always the same. Wow, amazing, incredible. The paintings are jewels, and our home is the setting in which their light is reflected. Spar is an exceptionally talented man who wields the power of love to free others from that which separates them from all that feels good and beautiful in this world. His art carries this influence on the soul. Spar's years of mastering the art of feeling, opening, trusting, and loving, and learning how to allow it all to flow unimpeded through his paintings, has made desperately needed inroads into a world that has become more and more devoid of the one true thing that gives our lives depth and meaning: the ability to feel good and connect with love in our own hearts. Lency Spezzano, world-acclaimed leadership consultant, author, and fine art collector. Art, if it is true art, heals, and the best art creates the experience of transcendence. It opens the heart to the yearning that leads you forward to what you love. Astonished, a part of us is stunned by the power of its authenticity and beauty. We are opened at the deepest level. It opens our soul, and we regain connection with the liberation of our true self. My wife and children and all of our guests are reminded of this every time we walk through our home. The 6 artworks Spar has created for us have absolutely transformed our home into a profound vortex of magnificence, healing, and transcendence. Dr. Chuck Spezzano, Ph.D., world-renowned leadership consultant, author, fine art collector. Spar Street has the rare gift of revealing essence as form, so we can experience it. He somehow captures the uncapturable. After more than a decade and a half of collecting his work, I still marvel at the dynamic, extraordinary beauty of each of his creations. I can only describe my relationship to his paintings and sculptures as a living love affair. Chris McCombs, fine art collector, author, and business owner. Wow, amazing. There's so much energy here. You've captured the feeling entirely. This has so much more feeling than anything I have seen before. Andre Agassi, 5th all-time leader in professional tennis earnings. That is incredible. I can feel the rush of speed. I love that. I have lived my life for this feeling. How did you get that feeling on a canvas? Thank you. Thank you very much. Mario Andretti, world champion racing driver. Outstanding. Your painting is fabulous. I love the life and sense of movement. Great work. Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player of all time. Everything about your work is breathtaking. Every time I walk through my family room, your painting catches me and brings a smile to my face. It is born of the desire to know, to share the highest, the deepest, the fullest, the richest of all human experience. Your painting doesn't just hold its own in the room. It has made the room an extension of my soul. John Denver, singer, songwriter, environmentalist. Your work is truly amazing. The depth, the heart, and the feeling in them is astounding. I love how the colors and shapes and movement create what appears to be living and breathing imagery. Remarkable. Every piece is remarkable. When I look at your paintings, I find a resonance there. You slip into a space where everything feels expansive, where you know love exists and you can rely on it. They come from that on fire, blasted open place, full of purpose, heart, and direction. They hold an intense vibrancy of feeling that opens doorways inside me. Your artworks have something in them that resonates with my soul. Kenny Loggins, Grammy-winning recording artist. Your paintings remind me of what it is like to love bravely and live fully. They are really beautiful. Jewel, recording artist. That is so incredibly beautiful. I love where the lines, the curves, and the colors take me when I look at it. It is absolutely delightful. What an amazing gift you have. Natalie Cole, 9-time Grammy Award winner. This is fabulous. Walking into your studio is like walking into a grand temple. It is reverberating with music you can see. From the moment you enter, everything changes, becomes more vibrant, more alive. I absolutely love your work. Deva Premal, recording artist. Moving among your paintings is like walking through a mantra. Mitten, recording artist. This is fabulous work, a masterpiece. Wholly original, awesome. What you are doing is an extraordinary contribution. I love having your work in my home. David Foster, 34-time Grammy Award-winning music producer. You cannot imagine my elation when my wife removed the blindfold. She had positioned me perfectly, directly in front of the most beautiful, awe-inspiring, love-filled, vibrantly emotional artwork I have ever witnessed. I stood before it, tears of gratitude running down my face, chills running through my body, an experience of such enormous power and love. I will carry it with me for the rest of my life. Then I had to ask myself, why? What is causing this amazing experience? Why was it that this image shocked and delighted my system so radically and so completely? Why, when I have personally experienced so many of the most amazing fine artworks cherished by the world, has this one rocked my world so thoroughly? What is it about this one painting? Mesmerized, I sat contemplating and realized that the only reason I felt this level of emotional impact, these head-to-toe chills and overwhelming joy from this painting, was because it opened me to these vibrations the universe was sending me, these vibrations of caring and living, vibrations of joy and peace, and most importantly, the vibration of love. I realized that love was flowing from the canvas, radiating from these vibrant colors and forms, love that was generated from the passion of a man that I love, a man that paints not with a brush, but with his heart. Spar, thank you. From the depth of my heart, thank you. Jim Piccolo, owner of 51 companies, fine auto, jet, and art collector. Spar Street has the magic. He reaches into our very soul and translates our own deepest feelings into visual masterpieces. History will acknowledge Spar as being one of the great creative art forces of the 21st century. No house feels like a home. No structure is experienced as magnificent without powerful, emotionally evocative artworks to stir your senses every time you enter. If you haven't experienced how good your home feels with Spar Street's art in it, you do not really know just how exceptionally rich and fulfilling your living spaces can be. If you are like me and place quality of life as a high priority, take the time to contact Spar and discover firsthand just how much more satisfying your home can be with this kind of artistic expression illuminating your surroundings. Peter H. Thomas, founder, Century 21 Real Estate, Canada. The appreciation of art has been one of my greatest pleasures in my life. Collecting art has been a lifelong passion. Of all the paintings in my collection, the works of Spar Street are amongst my favorite. You can feel where an artist creates from when you look at their work. There is sincerity and authenticity in Spar Street's paintings, a purity of spirit that appeals to me immensely. His work comes from the depth of his heart and carries with it a great intrinsic value to me personally. Stanley Marcus, former chairman, Neiman Marcus. If you are interested in acquiring a piece of fine art that will provide you with timeless enjoyment, I would highly recommend you consider one of Spar's magnificent creations. The painting Spar Street created for Deer Valley Resort's main lodge never fails to strike the attention of everyone who sees it. And the favorable comments we continually receive make us feel good about the decision we made to commission the artwork. Bob Wheaton, President General Manager, Deer Valley Resort. Spar's work is both breathtaking and visually explosive. His work captures your spirit and compels you to think about what is most important in life. Walter Schneider, CEO, Remax Europe. Your contribution is what I really admire in that you bring joy to people when they look at the quality and serenity of your work. That kind of wealth is immeasurable. Amir Dawsel, Executive Director, United Nations Fund for International Partnerships. The uncontrived honesty of Spar's art speaks volumes. If you want to know what the authentic flame of creativity looks like in fine art, this is it. Mike Green, former president of the GRAMMY organization.